This is dictation at 200 words a minute. The minimum number of envelopes is 8. Did you take notice of his success? Did you succeed in getting the minimum number of notices in the envelope? I noticed that his successful entry had the minimum number of words. I noticed that she is enjoying many successes. We succeeded in our marketing plan because we used bright red envelopes. We are trying to fit all of our puzzle pieces together in a logical manner. It is just as if you are building a puzzle by referring to the cover of the box. We know what the end photo looks like and we have the pieces, so we need to fit them in place. First of all, oil did burn during the course of this fire. There was some amount of oil that was burned as fuel to feed the fire. Both parties admit to the burning of the oil, but they do not concur as to when the burning began. One party contends that ignition occurred right at the very outset and that is what caused the fire. We contend that ignition was caused by a smaller fire that was already going. The oil was what made the fire difficult to put out. That is called a mortgage. How much is the mortgage payment? My old mortgage payments were high. They are refinancing their mortgages. The mortgages were paid off in August. She earns income from second mortgages. They are mortgaged up to the hilt. We have mortgaged the old house. Have you mortgaged both properties? They are mortgaging their new house. Mortgaging your home may not be wise. Are you thinking of mortgaging it? When will the president establish the rules? We want to establish a new product. Mr. Diamond will establish a new company. I believe it is an established principle. He established that he was not in town. They established the rules at the meeting. If he establishes an alibi, the case will end. The case establishes a precedent. The decision establishes new methods. The defendant is establishing a strong alibi. Is the company establishing a new policy? We will be establishing many new contacts. Tony is a member of the establishment. The establishment of guidelines was crucial. Will the establishment of a department help? Establishments like that do not last long. Where are the eating establishments? We are hunting for those establishments. He is very good at playing character roles. Goofy is a character in the cartoon. Can you assess my character with a test? Those two boys are real characters. The typewritten characters are easy to read. Who are the main characters in the play? Is it characteristic of her to cry so much? Mumbling is his least likable characteristic. Covered bridges are characteristic there. He has a long list of good characteristics. Dan has a characteristic of a good employee. What characteristics must the players have? I would characterize him as ambitious. Would you characterize her answer as silly? Please characterize the applicant for me. The book characterizes him differently. It characterizes her as a saint. That statement mischaracterizes it. Dave characterizes his boss as a miser. I don't like the way I was characterized. The movie characterized the matter poorly. I want to order an original and one copy. The original question was not answered. He does not have one original thought. Where did you put the originals? Are those paintings really originals? The originals have greater depth. That is what I originally said to him. We originally planned it that way. That was originally the idea. They had 14 rows of corn, 17 of beans, 31 lettuce, 25 peas, 13 squash, 22 melons, 16 grapes, 24 peppers, 30 carrots, 18 cabbages, 21 onions, 19 strawberries, 26 celeries, 28 melon. In this case, since there are two officers, I would have one officer guard the suspect and the other officer stretch his hand out and shine a flashlight over that fence to see if there was somebody on the other side. I am very safety oriented and I like to protect myself. Next, I would not approach the suspect until he had a proper search. My first contact with the situation was an FBI course that I took, and they listed a number of officers who had been shot with their own guns. It is recommended that when you approach, you give your gun to your partner and he stand off some distance to one side so that you are not in a crossfire. If he did have to fire, he wouldn't hit the other officer. I am talking about at least 6 feet so that the suspect could lunge and grab his gun. There have been a considerable number of cases where the gun has been taken from the officer, so I would have held off until such time as the suspect was in a position for a proper wall search, and that is where his feet are so far out that he could not possibly push himself back. Then at such time, if you can reach him, grab him with your left hand by the belt, and then you can sense any movement if he were to try to push back.